My name is Lindsay Yates. I am the Executive Director of Squash Ontario. Squash Ontario has been around since 1976, and we are the recognized governing body for squash in Ontario. We have a very wide range of players that come to squash. We have seen players as young as 6 play in our tournaments, and then as old as even in the 90s. Squash Ontario has about 4,000 members, and it's growing. I play squash as well as everyone in the office. We all compete in the same events that we work at. Squash Ontario first learned about NSTF about 8 years ago when we were looking for a program to help us with our fundraising initiatives. The previous executive director and president launched our 2 initiatives through the NSTF. I find the NSTF process quite simple. The applying to get our initiatives off the ground was clear and straightforward, and then since then we apply for quarterly remittance of our funds. We've actually seen sort of a positive uptake in squash after COVID because it is easier to control the number of people that you're playing with. We found that there's been a lot of community members looking for something new to do once we came out of COVID. Squash Ontario has launched 2 different initiatives through the NSTF. One is the Ontario Squash Hall of Fame, and then the other is the Lee Hanbury Junior Squash Fund. Through both of these initiatives in over 8 years, we've raised over $200,000. Squash Ontario has an ongoing fundraising process for both of our initiatives. For the Ontario Squash Hall of Fame, we have a group of members that raise funds every 2 years when we have an induction ceremony. So anytime we launch new initiatives or need to do a new program, we will seek new funds through donations. Through the NSTF, we were able to raise funds for 2 very important programs that we launched last year. The first one being the Inclusive Squash Program, which was a way for youth with a disability, so either a mental or physical disability, to participate in squash, and that's ongoing. And then the second one was a junior girls program, getting more girls back into sport in general after COVID. So we were able to get a group of girls on an all-glass squash court when the Nationals came to town at the Yorkdale Shopping Mall, which was very exciting. And then we've been able to launch programming for a group of girls to train and compete through squash, and hopefully they will continue playing squash after that. Through the NSTF, we've been able to provide our donors with charitable tax receipts, which has been extremely helpful. It also makes our initiatives feel more professional. If you've never tried squash before, certainly give it a try. It's an amazing way to get fit, be social, and think on your feet in a very short amount of time. Thank you, OSN, for providing fundraising help for all of our sport organizations and for helping Ontario community members getting back into sport and recreation.